Good afternoon, salutations, partner. There's a few things I'd like to get off my chest today. I've been seeing all these brothers on the internet talking about how you should buy clothing. How you should buy clothing and see it as a financial investment, as an incentive to purchase more expensive brands than one normally would. And that you got to be smart about this. You know what I'm saying? You got to calculate the price of the garment and the brand that you're purchasing, and divide it by the number of times you're gonna wear it. Because the premise here is that more expensive clothing lasts longer. And I have a few points I gotta make about that. The first point I'd like to elucidate upon is I will agree that in general, if you buy a product that is more expensive from a more expensive, well recognized brand, the quality usually on average now, is better. But I must add some caveats to this main point. I feel that this is particularly relevant to clothing designed for utility and labor purposes. For fashion items, oh, oh, I think that's like reaching into a barrel of marbles and hoping it's blue. I will say, when I say quality in terms of fashion, well, there's a lot of other things that come into play. Quality can mean that it is handmade, that it is made with more comfortable materials. For fashion, I would say the expectation of durability in terms of quality is a little bit excessive and optimistic. Let's just say I have personally owned a pair of pants from a brand called Demo Base, and these pants costed me $700. It's a very expensive pants, you see. And these pants, they just ripped. I wore them 3-4 times, and they just done ripped. They up and ripped, bro. I wore them 3-4 times. And my brother says that this is because Demo Base is a brand that is made to target people at Burning Man who are high on psychedelics and are wealthy and just buy it upon impulse. They target the impulse purchases of the wealthy. And I think that this assessment is comedic to imagine, but I am unsure of its certainty. But I am sure that these pants ripped at the seam after wearing them for 2 weeks at the elastic portion. Of course, Demo Base was gracious enough to repair it. They paid the return shipping both ways to fix it, and that was I'm much obliged. For $700, that seems very fitting, if you know what I mean. They did repair it, and with these repairs, these pants are much more durable now. But this just goes to show that price doesn't guarantee quality. In my opinion, it does not guarantee quality. And I would say, I want to say on average it does, but quality in terms of fashion refers to comfort, refers to fit, refers to specific styles, stretching the limits sometimes of what you can do with what kinds of material and whatnot. So you really got to be careful. It's talking about quality when you're talking about high fashion, because what is quality? You see, what is quality? Okay? And in terms of, and I will go on to say that the most durable items of clothing I have personally owned have always been from Walmart. They have been $5 belts, $15 pants. I know you have trouble imagining pants being $15, but I'm dating myself here. That you have plenty of fashion brands from a long time ago that they used to sell for $15. you know, $15 was a lot when I was little. You know, $15 was a video game. Now a video game is like $60 and you still gotta buy downloadable content. So that's the first issue I'd like to bring up, that price does not inherently guarantee quality, but I may throw in the caveat that maybe this is more relevant to deliberate working brands that are deliberately designed for work and toil and that see excessive wear. That may be more relevant to that discussion. But in terms of fashion, for aesthetics and for high fashion, well, I will say definitely you have your outliers. You have your outliers. There are definitely a lot of brands that sell costume quality clothes, especially once you start getting at the real dirt cheap end of things. But after that, above that level, above that range, where above the like $5 for a suit, you know what you're getting. If you're paying $5 for a suit, I'm sorry to say it, but like you know it's a costume, right? If it's $10, $15, $100 for a suit, you pretty much know what you're getting, right? You can only, like, there's only so much fabric that $50 will buy you. But beyond that, beyond those outlier extremes of cheapness, I I would really say that the returns on investment are negligible. The second thing I'd like to bring up is, why is it always man making these videos? Maybe always is a little bit too broad of a word, but I have yet to see women making videos discussing price per wear philosophies. It seems like it's only us guys thinking about how much something costs depending upon how much it costs divided by how many times I'm going to wear it, and therefore determining if the price is appropriate. And the philosophy being that I think this is a good way to look at things economically. If you absolutely despise shopping and you despise buying new clothes and you see it as a draining investment that you prefer to get out of the way for the rest of your life, yes, I agree, this may be a realistic expectation. But do you think that people watching these kinds of channels discussing fashion and price per wear are only planning on buying one outfit and then wearing it until it breaks or the rest of their lives, God forbid anything should happen? Well, that brings me to my second point, to my third point. I have yet to have witnessed many catastrophic failures in my clothing in terms of them becoming irreparably damaged. You may not see because I'm not wearing a shirt in this video. You know how it is. But I'm wearing some blue corduroy pants. And I've had these blue corduroy pants for 15 years. And I've been wearing them every day as my pajamas, every day except for laundry. Almost every day. They have seen a lot of wear. They've seen so much wear that the color has done washed out. There's parts of my pants that are pink. Now, I don't use dyes or bleach or detergent or anything such, but simply the act of washing my clothes so many times has pulled the very dye out of my clothing, leaving it pink in some parts. So, and these pants, they cost me $15 back in, I don't know, 2008, 2009, and I bought them from Walmart. They were cheap pants. But let me tell you, the most durable items that I've purchased are the items that are cheap enough to wear without fear of getting them dirty, of getting them roughed up. And that's really the only way you're going to know if you're actually getting what you're paying for, is if you're actually using them. And that's why I say that this is mostly relevant for construction and labor and toil and clothing designed to be actually used for a rough industrial purpose. Otherwise, how are you going to know about the quality? Otherwise, the quality simply relegates itself to the realm of comfort and expensiveness of materials, as well as certain styles. You're going to have a hard time actually assessing the quality of the product. So that is the third point. The third point is that really a problem for most people? Is it really a problem? Is your clothing literally breaking down beyond repair a common problem? Yeah, it happens. It does happen, for sure. But it still happens. It does. In my experience, that seems to be a problem that is not affected by price. I've seen $700 pants ripped from just walking, and I've worn pants every day for 15 years. For 15 years, and they still just fine, except missing a little bit of dye and one of the buttons done fell off. But other than that, they're just fine. And the first point is the fourth point is, do you really hate shopping that much? I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. I enjoy shopping for clothes, and I think many people who like fashion, they enjoy the act of shopping for clothes. They enjoy the act of looking through clothes. Now, I greatly prefer online shopping for multiple reasons, but which I've discussed in other videos. But I really think that people who like clothes and like fashion, they like looking through different stores and websites and ordering and returning and so forth and trying on. Of course, if I could just have the perfect item of clothing, I'm tempted to say I would prefer that, but truth be told, I really do enjoy the process in of itself. I enjoy the creativity that is mustered by seeing different styles, even if I may prefer others. I enjoy seeing what is out there. So, is shopping really that big of a problem? I think most people enjoy shopping for new clothes when it's time to do so. Or at least people who enjoy fashion enjoy shopping for new clothes. The fifth point here is, do you really want? They be talking about how they gonna divide the price of the garment. They gonna divide the price of a garment by how much it is worn, how many times it is worn. Well, let me tell you something. Right now. I'll be real with you. Do you want to wear that item forever? I mean, there is myself personally, I care about durability in terms of almost every item of clothing that I have purchased in my life. Almost any. There are a few exceptions. Have been durable enough. They have done their part, and they have been durable enough. This is 2022. We don't have we are able to machine produce clothing that is of tremendous quality and affordability. In fact, if something is handmade, People talk about quality in terms of being handmade. An item may be handmade because it is too difficult to stitch with a machine in a factory, and because it is of an experimental design that does not warrant, that is yet to warrant the use of industrialized equipment producing massive amounts. You see what I'm saying? So it's for this reason that hand stitching has impacts on quality. But between a t-shirt made by a machine in a factory and someone making that by hand, if there is an improvement on quality, it is based upon the measurements taken. But other than that, I would say I really must say that products produced in a factory are superior in terms of durability. So something being handmade is probably in terms of durability inferior. If we're talking about just simple clothing that is produced easily in a factory. That is the last point. Do you want to be wearing the same thing every day? Do you really want to? I'm a different man. As you can see, I am a different man today than I've been maybe even a few weeks ago. I mean, some of my watchers of this channel, you may know I'm a different man right now than I usually am. But I'm gonna tell you like it is. I don't sugarcoat things no more, you know. But I'm gonna still keep it PG-13. I'm a different man today than I was 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So when you're talking about wearing these clothes for all X many times, that you're going to get hundreds of wears out of it, that you're going to wear it 100 times, 1,000 times, what have you. Do you really want that? Is that what you want? Is that actually what you want? If you buy a suit for $1,000 and you go and wear it 1,000 times so that it's $1 per wear, you're going to be wearing that suit for 4 years every day. If you're not wearing it every day, it's going to be, if you're wearing it once a week, oh man, it's going to take you like 21 years. You want to be wearing that same suit for 21 years, buddy? You sure about that? You sure you want to wear that same outfit 21 years? I mean, your body's going to change. Your color preferences are going to change. Your color palette is going to be stimulated. I had a friend that done once told me that as we age, we tend to prefer more muted colors and softer colors instead of bright, obscene colors, because it is easier and softer on the eyes, less tiring on the peepers, you know what I mean? So you really want to be wearing the same thing for 21 years? Come on. And if you do, more power to you. Yeah, that's the way to go about it. I definitely agree. But I strongly suspect that unless you're some kind of unless you are an outlier of some kind, I strongly suspect that your body will change, your tastes will change, your profession will change, your career will change. So much, your outlook on life will change. You may get married, you may have children. So many things may happen. So many things may happen to change you into a person that would prefer a new item of clothing, a different item of clothing. Now, I said that was my last point. I have two more points. The second to last point, the sixth point, if I'm not mistaken, is durability. What does durability mean? If you're wearing a suit every day for 4 years, or once a week for what have you, 28 years, are you really sure you ain't going to spill some coffee on it, or spill some oil on it, or leave it out in your car and it's going to get sun bleached? Or are you really sure that you ain't going to accidentally cut it with your knife when you're like whittling or what have you? Are you really sure? I mean, your pants are still going to get holes in them if you keep your keychains in your pockets. 21 years of that. I'm telling you, you know, you see back where I come from, you see guys, they got back pockets full of skull, you know, that them chewing tobacco, and even when they take the skull out, their pants don't fit right. They pants don't fit. Their pants fall down unless they got the skull in their back pocket. You know what I mean? You know, they got a little imprint of that puck back there. And I'm telling you, man, their pants fall right down. You take that skull out, you gotta hold their pants up with the other hand. You know what I mean? So your lifestyle is gonna change, and you're also gonna have things that happen that wear out your pants and damage them, even if they are durable. And if you're gonna spill coffee, you're going to need to change your tire, and you're going to get oil on it. You're going to get scuffs if you fall down on the pavement. The snow is going to bleach the dye from your pants. Something going to happen. Something going to happen. The collar of your shirt will turn brown and yellow from the oils on your skin. Something will happen. Don't worry. Don't worry. Rest assured, no matter how durable that item of garment is, it will get trifling pretty fast. Now, another point I'd like to make is if you're wearing expensive clothing, really expensive clothing, like I know some of my watchers like to talk about, and they don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, and you still ain't gonna be justified if you're wearing $1,000 shirt and $1,000 pants and $3,000 jacket. How many times are you gonna wear that before it becomes reasonable? I mean, even if you sleep in it, and then you're gonna see what I'm talking about in terms of quality. Then you're gonna see what I mean. That quality is yet to be guaranteed based upon these excessive price tags. And the last point I want to leave you with is that I definitely agree with this philosophy in terms of clothing designed for work and for labor and industry and professional settings. I had a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who's a doctor, and he gave me this advice. Would you trust a surgeon that comes out of a beaten up truck and is wearing dirty, muddy clothes and has holes in it and so forth and so forth? Well, see, I think that's an interesting point in terms of professionalism. But if you're wearing dirty clothes and holes in it and coming from a dirty truck, that represent dirty truck. That might actually be a good thing. Someone might trust a surgeon coming from a dirty truck more, because it's like he's like one of them or something. Because most people's trucks don't get washed every day. But as far as dirty clothing, are people's dirt? I don't like. I've seen homeless people wearing designer clothes. You know, I don't think even homeless people have dirty clothes. It seems access to some kind of clothing is pretty easy. It seems we have a surplus of cheap clothes. Like I can get a free T-shirt just from going to a seminar somewhere. I can get a free T-shirt just by walking on the sidewalk and someone's doing a promotion. I get free T-shirts sent to me by various pharmaceutical companies, so for free. So I really think most people these days don't struggle finding something to wear. Something. You know, the issue comes in something that looks good, something that feels good, something comfortable. Yeah, I agree that's you probably need to spend some money for that. But getting something to wear, I think, is no longer an issue in developed countries. It's important to have comfortable clothes that look good, for sure, but something to wear, just something to cover your nakedness from the elements, I think most people have little difficulty acquiring those things. So I definitely agree. I agree with the points that were made, and I agree with the points that are made in terms of labor equipment. But I'm really curious. Most of the clothes that I wear is for fashion, and comfort comes at a is much more of a premium to me. So I want you to tell me: are more expensive are more expensive labor clothes designed for toil? Are they actually any better, more durable? Do any of you working man out there, working woman out there, have any experience with different price ranges of clothing that you actually wear for work and have tested and have evidence to some kind of anecdotal experience that you could provide me in the comments, please, as to whether or not more expensive labor clothes is working clothes is better than cheap working clothes? I'd be much obliged if you shared that with me. And I also ask you to keep in mind that you don't have that you keep an eye on confirmation bias. It's kind of like how people think that cheap liquor gets you drunk, gets you less drunk than expensive. Pardon me. It's like how people believe that cheap liquor gives you worse hangovers than expensive liquor, but really, expensive liquor tends to not be drank quickly. So that's really what that's about. People ain't willing to chug a bottle of $200 whiskey. They tend to sip it and savor it, whereas people who drink cheap alcohol probably gonna drink the whole thing. Probably gonna drink the whole. When you imagine someone swigging a whole bottle of whiskey, it's usually some kind of bottom shelf spirit. And of course, I advise you to stay sober and keep yourself clean. Keep a clean nose, keep a clean stomach, keep a clean body. You know. But please do let me know. Are more expensive work brands better than cheaper work brands? Do you have actual experience with these brands? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Goodbye. Be blessed.